Okay, Bigfoot. Everybody's like, Bigfoot's not for real. So I went to this camp on a lake, and they had these hiking trips that you could sign up for that went into the North Carolina mountains. So I signed up for the one for Table Rock Mountain. All right, we go into Table Rock Mountain. We hike in on the fire trail about a couple miles, and there's a little creek there. It's flowing. We set up camp. This is uh, a counselor, two counselors, and some campers. I don't want to go into uh, what uh, the camping. I don't want to go into like where you send your kids to camp. Who this is. Anyways, we go into the fire. We get on the fire trails. We go into the creek. We set up, get ready to camp and everything, and our counselor decides to tell us a couple scary stories. The first story that he decides to tell us is about Red Eye Dick. Red Eye Dick apparently was a good person or what have you. Everybody was camping out. Apparently, this is how the story of Red Eye Dick goes, which is probably a false story. Okay. This is the first story he tells us, which I'm like, okay, yeah, I know the story about Red Eye Dick. This is, but now that I think about it, I'm like, wow, this could be a real story. There's apparently they have a fire and all that, and people are throwing sticks in the fire, and somebody sticks red eye Dick in the eye with one of their sticks accidentally, and he does a bunch of crazy things and then runs off. I don't know if he kills a couple people or whatever, you know. So that's the story, Red Eye Dick. Then the counselor starts talking about Bigfoot. And a couple of us are like, well, we're like, I'm part Indian, but a couple of us are like, well, yeah, we know about Bigfoot. He decides to tell us the scary story about Bigfoot. So we listen to the whole story and we're like, oh yeah, yeah, we know about Bigfoot. And he's just kind of looking at us like, well, wow. It's like I didn't even scare them. It's like, no, no, we know about Bigfoot. And then he's like, okay, you kids go off and get some wood. You pair up. So we paired up. Actually, the other campers stayed behind. They stayed and I was like, we'll go get some wood. So I went with a friend of mine that I grew up with, that I went to school with. And so she was kind of like a girlfriend. I don't know. She was my girlfriend. I guess. I don't know. So I don't know, girlfriend. Anyway, so we go up the fire trail a little ways, and I'm like, oh, okay, right here. I'm going to tear some of this tree bark off right here. It's dark. It's turning dark. I walk up off the fire trail and grab what I think is tree bark. It's not tree bark. It's a damn Sasquatch. I think I literally pulled some hair off of his ass or her ass. And she's like, what is it? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So I go back up and I pat the damn thing. Going, well, wow, this is not a tree. And then I hear this, huh, like this, huh, huh. And I back up and she goes, what is it? And it goes, it's what he talked about. It's Sasquatch. It's Bigfoot. Let's get back to camp. So we get back to camp and we come back to camp all freaked out. We did bring some wood. I don't know if we did or did. I'm trying to think if we did. No, we were so freaked out, I don't think we did. And the counselor goes, what is it? We're like, oh yeah, we saw him. He's there. Well, of course, he's not a believer. So we're getting in our tent. We're gonna hide. This thing is huge. So the counselor decides he's gonna go up there. So he goes up there and runs into it. And we hear this god awful scream, shout, whatever, like he's confronted it. Yeah. And he comes back to the campsite, tells everybody to get in their tents, to go to bed. And this thing goes down below the stream from where we're camped out and is about 50 to 100 yards, and for all night long is screaming these god awful screams that you can the hair on the back of your neck is going up. So we really all didn't really sleep much that night, to be honest with you. None of us. We tried to, but this thing kept screaming. It almost knew when we were going to be getting some sleep. So in the morning, we all get up and we're just ready to get out of there. The counselor's even like asking us questions. It's like, no, we're just ready to leave. It's like, do y'all want any breakfast? Like, well, we'll eat some, but we're just ready to get out. And this thing is still screaming. And we're like, wow, what is this? What is this? Screaming at us. It's like, don't listen to it. It's like, don't listen to it. It's not but 50 or 100 yards from us. So finally, the counselor decides that, yeah, we're out of here. So we pack up within about 5 or 10 minutes. We all just get everything packed up, and we're heading down the fire trail. Okay, heading down the fire trail. We're gonna go up the uh, hike straight up the backside of Table Rock Mountain. Everything's real quiet. You can't hear a bird, insect, nothing. It's like, yeah, but it's the middle of like summertime. It's like, okay. So we're walking down the fire trail, and then all of a sudden, about 6 to 12 turkeys, I don't know, a whole flock of turkeys come, wild turkeys come flying. All of a sudden, where we're walking in front of us, all these turkeys come flying, and we're all kind of like, well, wow, how can you like not hear anything? And then all of a sudden, these turkeys come so that was kind of like Bigfoot. All right, so we go up the side of the mountain and start hiking up, and all of a sudden, one of the campers that are with us decides that he can't take it anymore. He's freaked out, but the counselor doesn't know this. All of a sudden, this guy takes off, going back the way we came from. He runs from all of us, which this is kind of like a Sasquatch or Bigfoot thing that apparently happens to people that get disoriented. I told the counselor, I'll go get him. I'll find him. So I run down the trail and go, stop, stop. And I finally get him to stop. But I have to tell him, even if you go back the other way, it'll be another 2 or 3 days before you'll get out. I said, because the car or the van is not there. It's at the top of the mountain. Takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to an hour talking to him. Which I'm convinced to this day that he'd not turn around and come back with me and left, he would have been gone. There's no, he was on the other side. He was heading down towards Limble Lake. That's up there where Limble Gorge is. If you ever you probably never make it back if you ever go, because it's a lake on the top of the mountains. And I even asked the counselor, "What is that?" Because that's Limble Lake. And I'm like, "Wow." Okay. So I don't know how, but I convinced him to come back. He comes back. We go up to you can take the fire trail, you don't and then you can go up to Table Rock. Everybody's running out of water. I give the girls my water. I'm like, well, when we get up here, I know where there's a spring, and I'll go get water. And the counselor didn't know, but I had been hiking there before. I forget who I went with. It was a survival. Uh, I went on a survival. It's a church group. It was a survival class or whatever. We went on this anyway, and they showed us where the spring was up on Table Rock. So, anyways, we get to the top, get to the. And it's like I'm gonna go get water. Saved his ass. I thought the whole time that we were up there, and we went to the top of Table Rock. It was cloudy. It was. I felt like the whole time that we were on that hiking trip that Bigfoot was following us. So definitely touched him. He definitely screamed, and I felt like he followed us and was almost guarding us the whole way. Because that is treacherous hiking. Okay. Um, we got the water. Everybody camped out. The vans came, picked us up the following morning. Okay. But yeah. Now I got several other Bigfoot encounters. But actually touching and pulling and grabbing on a Bigfoot that was like, huh, that went like, huh. I'm like, oh man. And my girlfriend going, what was that? What is that? And I'm like, it's what he said it was. All right, get back. Let's go back to camp. And we ran back to camp. Yep. So, all right, I got another Bigfoot story coming up. This when I go canoeing with my friend. Oh, he wants to go canoeing. Man. Okay. That's and he brings his gun. That's coming up. I don't think Bigfoot. Bring your guns into the. Always bring your guns or whatever. Be protect. But Bigfoot, he does not like guns. So that's coming up.